Many Canadians are opting for medical assistance in dying. Since it became legal in 2016, the rate at which the option has grown in Canada has been faster than anywhere else in the world.
Most recent data shows MAID accounted for 4.1% of all Canadian deaths in 2022. The number of medically assisted deaths growing roughly 4.5 times higher than in 2017, the first full year MAID was legalized. Canada's rate nearing that of the Netherlands, which legalized physician-assisted dying in 2002.
A pod meant to assist suicides. It is a futuristic-looking contraption. Once a person climbs into it, nitrogen gas will be released, oxygen will be eliminated, and within minutes the person will die, all at the cost of just $20.
It was first unveiled in 2019. But the pod is expected to be launched in Switzerland and put to use in the coming months.
The data for the medical assistance in suicide, that's Canada's euthanasia program. No bones about it. It's a euthanasia program. And it says, quote, in the database, the underlying cause of death is defined as the disease or injury that initiated the train of morbid events leading directly to death. As such, MAID deaths are coded to the underlying condition for which MAID was requested. So to break that down into common English, it's saying they're going to report MAID deaths based on the reason, the medical reason, if there is one, that somebody decided they wanted medically assisted suicide. Two questions come to mind. How long has this been going on? Are the numbers already corrupted? Or is this from now on? They're going to be reporting this because the numbers are horrifying. For the last year that we have numbers for, which is 2022, 13,200 people committed suicide through the MAID program. The year before, over 10,000.
When Canada expands euthanasia to the mentally ill in March of 2024, it looks increasingly likely that the Canadian government is also going to expand euthanasia to people who are addicted to drugs. This was being discussed last week at a conference in British Columbia hosted by the Canadian Society of Addiction Medicine. It's painfully ironic that the only newsworthy thing to come out of this Canadian Society of Addiction Medicine conference were public calls to allow drug-addicted Canadians to kill themselves at the hands of the state. As many have pointed out, this is all beginning to look a lot like eugenics. The state being able to pick and choose which Canadian lives are of value and which Canadian lives are worth saving and which Canadian lives are permitted to end if that person chooses that path.
BC Premier David Eby announced that $1 billion has been set aside to provide involuntary care under the Mental Health Act for people with severe addiction, mental illness, or brain injuries
caused by repeated overdose, which reduces their ability to make decisions, their executive functioning, and their impulse control.
The province plans to add more than 400 mental health beds at new and expanded hospitals in BC. BC government says it plans to amend Bill 22 under the Mental Health Act to ensure that people, including youth, receive care when they are unable to seek it themselves.
So involuntary treatment is another term for incarceration, essentially.